Hey everyone, and welcome back to my craft room. For those who don't know me, my name's Julianne Richards and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in southern Tasmania in Australia. I am now, this is my second last day in my 7 cards in 7 days challenge for in the lead up to International Happiness Day on the 20th of March. So I'm just getting myself sorted here. Today happens to correspond, when I'm filming this, with when I've just had my Ornate Garden Suite delivered. As a demonstrator, we've been able to order this suite a bit earlier. So I thought I'd kill two birds with one stone and actually make my first card with this beautiful suite and make it my card number 6 for my 7-day challenge. Now, I've got an admission to make here. I'm not a huge original thinker. I tend to stalk Pinterest. I tend to take ideas from others and change them slightly to make them my own. And that's what I share. This time I've actually taken an idea from the artisan team at Stampin' Up, and I have changed it slightly with the colours and a few little accents here and there, but fundamentally it is the card that was created by the artisan team. As an example for this stamp set or this bundle. There's not a lot for this one out there at the moment because it is just so new. It's only just come out. So as more and more demonstrators and customers get hold of it, I'm sure there'll be a lot more out there to inspire me and to inspire all of us. So anyway, just get on with some crafting and I'll show you what I'm going to do. This is the main image from one of the stamp sets with the suite. The suite has 2 bundles with it, on 2 sets of stamp sets and dies, and this is the ornate style part of the suite. It has this beautiful flower here, which I've actually stamped in black ink on Whisper White cardstock here. And cut out. So here is that stamp there. What I've actually done is you could fussy cut this one, and you could tell that the shapes aren't that difficult if you're a big fussy cutter. But I'd like to share a little hint I got from a fellow demonstrator on one of our pages just this morning, whereas she stamps her, she hates fussy cutting, so she stamps her images and then she keeps this. This is the paper backing off your off the stamps when we get them. The rubber stamps come with this on the back here. So she keeps this and she basically uses it as a template to cut out to fussy cut her stamps. So you see she's stamped that. Well, I've stamped that. I've kept the paper, and then you use a pencil just to go around the edge, and then a pair of scissors just to cut out. You don't get the really tight fit that you do if you fussy cut, but just for just to save some pain and suffering, that's probably a good alternative. So I have actually stamped this one out in, as I say, in black ink, and I am going to use this image to make my card. So to save you a lot of pain and suffering as well, I have actually done it already. I've completed one already and fussy cut it, so you don't have to sit and watch me do that. So I'll just show you the one I did this morning. Okay, here we go, and you can tell I have fussy cut close to the edges all the way around, which wasn't too bad if you've got some time and some patience. Okay, so I'll just explain to you the colours I've used, and they will match with the colours I bring in later, so bear with me. These sort of chrysanthemum looking flowers are actually light and dark. Hang on, I have to check them myself. Light and dark Cajun light and dark Calypso Coral. Yes, so light and dark Calypso Coral for these flowers. The paper that comes with this suite has terracotta tile, but I find the Calypso Coral is a good substitute if you haven't got the markers in that colour. Then the leaves, obviously, are our old favourite, Old Olive, so it's light and dark Old Olive. These flowers here, the daisies, are obviously a yellow, and they are light and dark Daffodil Delight. And these cute little things, which I'm sort of treating as forget-me-nots, are light and dark Mint Macaron. Yep, so that's that there. And the colour that I've put in the background, and you'll understand why shortly, is Pretty Peacock. So there it is. So I've used the blends, sort of a bit with light and dark. Hopefully you can see there in the light in my craft room. Dark parts where the shadows would fall, and then filled in with the light and merged in. And the little forget-me-nots have a dark centre. They have a yellow centre as well, which is the same, the Daffodil Delight. Okay, so that image is going to form the basis of my card today. Now, you might be saying, how does this all fit into happiness? Because this is our theme. My dear hubby, and I'm old enough to still call him hubby, is, I'd have to say, a half glass empty sort of guy, and he struggles sometimes to be happy. And sometimes when it gets darkest, he does a gratitude ritual. So every day he thinks of something that he's grateful for having in his life, and gratefulness leads to happiness in his case, and in many people's cases as well. It helps with that darkness. So today I thought I would make a card to show how to tell somebody how grateful I am, and and how in that gratitude, how it adds to my happiness. Anyway, that's a bit deep and meaningful for today. So anyway, it's a pretty card. Let's just go with that. Okay, so we've got our image, and I have, as I say, prepared that for you beforehand, so it's quite pretty. It's a really nice little image. Sort of, it's not too serious, doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's quite sweet. So what I've also got, and I've used lots of elements from the suite here, so bear with me. As I say, the suite will be available to customers in April, and it is actually a preview of what's going to be available in the next annual catalogue, so you'll have lots of time. If you're not buying it all up front, you've got lots of time to collect the elements over the next 18 months or so. I've got a card base, which is also in Pretty Peacock, and that's my standard sized card base, 8 1/4 by 5 3/4, and I've scored it in the middle. I'm going to just pop that aside. I've then got another piece of Pretty Peacock, which is 1/4 inch smaller, so that's 3 7/8 by 5 1/2, and I've popped that through the Ornate Garden, the Ornate Floral embossing folder, which also comes with the bundle, with the suite. So it's quite nice. It's got little flowers and sort of leaves and things on there, which goes in with the whole theme of the suite. So that's nice. And I'm going to be using it with the raised size up this time. I think I used it in an earlier video and I flipped it upside down, but this time it's going to have the raised sized up. Okay, so that's going to fit just straight on top of our card base like that, just with a bit of a border around it. Then I have a piece of the really beautiful designer series paper. So designer series paper has the same sorts of images as the stamp set, with the same sorts of colours. Obviously we've got our terracotta tile and our old olive, and a mystery yellow that we don't know what it's actually going to be yet, so that's quite nice. So that's why I've substituted the Daffodil Delight. Then I've got, just to soften that a little bit, I've got a similar sized, I'll tell you the measurements of this one, if I can find my ruler. Hang on, I've got inches there. Hang on, bear with me. I'll put them in the comments anyway. It's obviously about the best part of an inch smaller than the other one, but I'll put the measurements in the comments. Don't worry about that. So we've got the designer series paper, and just to soften that a little bit, I've got the same size of a piece of just clear vellum. So I'm going to pop that over there like that, and that's going to sit on top of our embossed panel just like that. And then I've got one of these beautiful die cuts, one of these beautiful border die cuts from the suite as well. And it's actually called Ornate Layers, and it has some layers that you just look at and wonder at. We've got beautiful stitched designs, we've got floral designs. You can see that's the one I've used there. We've got inlays, we've got relief. It's just really, really lovely, and there are a lot of beautiful borders there, which I'm sure I'm going to work my way through over the next few months. But I've used that one there. Yeah, and that's about it. I've got little bits and bobs which I'll bring in a minute. But we can actually just start assembling our card now. That's basically the main bits. I'll just sit down, forgive the wobble. Okay, so if you've watched my videos before, you know that when I use an embossed layer, I'll use double-sided tape or tear and tape to attach that to the card base. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. Oh, and I haven't cut myself a panel for the inside. I'll do that in a moment. So we're just going to pop our ornate floral embossed panel there. You can see that's quite pretty. I was almost tempted to use the new stone one, but I thought I'd stick with the sweet. The stone one is my favourite at the moment. Then we've got our piece of designer series paper, and because that's going on an embossed panel as well, I'm going to use double-sided tape or tear and tape for that also. I want to thank everyone for their comments and their kind words so far on this little series that I'm doing. I've had some lovely people pop up from all over the world, so I really appreciate that. Makes it worthwhile with the effort that I put in. Yes, if we get lots and lots of comments, I may actually think of putting in a supplementary prize for my little giveaway that I'm doing. So maybe if someone comments 2 or 3 or 4 or 7 times, I might send them something special if they don't win the main prize. So okay, so I'm going to put our vellum there. Now, vellum can be tricky for people sometimes because you don't want your glue showing through. But in this case, we're going to be covering most of it with our ornate layer. So it doesn't really matter too much. I'm just going to use glue, and I'm just going to use it in the centre there where it's going to be covered with our ornate panel. You'll see what I mean in a minute when I flip this over and attach it. What sort of worries people sometimes with vellum and the glue showing through. Well, this isn't too bad because it's got a floral behind it, but you can see there, if you can see in the light, you can actually see where the glue streaks are. But that's not a problem in this case. If you look at previous videos I've done with vellum, I'll show you a neat little trick where I use a sponge and some glue to stop those little marks from showing. Okay, so, but that's fine in this case because, as I say, we're going to be covering it with our beautiful ornate layer there, just on top. And so that's all going to go flat onto the pages, onto the vellum. So I'm going to just use some glue on the back and position that in place. So it's going together, with all the preparation, it's going together so easily and quickly once you get that colouring and cutting out of the way. Okay, so there's the basis there. So that's quite pretty in itself. And I love the pretty peacock. It's so, I don't know, sophisticated almost. Okay, at this stage I'm going to bring in the flower that I coloured in, and as you can see now why I chose to colour the background in the pretty peacock, because then it looks like the colour from behind is just showing through, or at least the white doesn't stand out so much when it's coloured the same as the background. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. Just a few dotted around the place. One in the middle. Come on, you lot. That's it. Okay, I'm just going to pop that just like that. Lovely. Okay, so that's really nice, the colour there. I thought I was going to struggle with these colours because they're not really my natural go-to colours, but I'm actually quite liking them. So I'm sure I'll get used to them as time goes by. Okay, for my sentiment, I didn't want to do too much to cover over our beautiful flowers, so I've actually stuck to quite a small sentiment, and I've just used thanks. You could have actually used any number of the grateful sentiments from this Ornate Thanks stamp set, which also comes with the suite. You've got So Grateful, which I was actually thinking of using, but I thought it would cover things over too much. Thank You, which is really big, and then the thanks that I've used. And the really great thing is that it's got all these little cursive additions to make. So you can say, thank you, my friend, or thanks ever so much, or I'm so grateful. There's any number of little additions you can make to make your card that little bit more special, just that for the particular person you're showing gratitude for. Okay, but I've just stuck to thanks here because, as I say, I didn't want to cover over my flowers too much with the sentiment. I could pop some more clarification inside. So I'm going to pop that just on top of our little flowers there, just off to the left. And just with some glue. And then I'm going to add a dimensional just on the very end like that, because that's the bit that's not going to overlap our flowers. So that glue goes on there, and that little little dimensional will keep that end up there. Okay, so there's our thanks. Make sure that's straight. Yep, there's our thanks there. So we're being grateful to everyone around us who makes our lives better. Okay, so the suite also comes with this really lovely ribbon. It's a sort of a 3/8 of an inch ribbon. It's got a sort of a trimmed edge, and it comes in this one, which is the terracotta, and also, I don't know if you can see there, an old olive one as well. So it's actually a ribbon combo pack. That's really sweet, and I love lovely colours that go with the suite as well. So I'm using a tiny bit of the terracotta, and I'm just going to pop it there. I've already tied it, because anyone who watches me on a regular basis knows how much I struggle with ribbons, but I've tied it already off camera so as to keep the illusion alive that I know what I'm doing. I've got a little glue dot. I'm just going to pop that on the edge of our sentiment there, so it just looks like it's a bow that's holding our little bouquet of flowers together. Cool. And just a little bit more, just a little bit of bling, just to show you what comes with the suite as well. So I think I've used just about everything from the suite here. We've got these gilded gems, which are really lovely, and they're sort of a metallic gold. There's no crystalline. They're sort of, yeah, they're not crystals, they're metallic, and they're sort of faceted, which is really, they sort of reflect the light really nicely. You can see how new this is. I haven't even opened a packet. Okay, so I thought I'd pop, just to show you what they look like, I thought I'd pop a couple of the gems on as well. So just keeping it little. I don't think it needs huge gems. And I thought I'd just pop it on the background a little bit around. So one there maybe, and one down here. There we go. It just lifts it a little bit, gives it a bit of bling. There we are. Okay, so really that one is fundamentally done. We've got a bit of everything from the new suite. We've got the ribbon, the stamp, the embellishments, the die cuts and the DSP, and the embossing folder. So yeah, as you can see, it's really nice. I love those colours now that I've put them together. I think they really work really well. So I might cut myself, just forgive me for a minute, I'll cut myself a little panel of white for inside. I think I've got some white here somewhere that I haven't used. Or do I? Definitely did at one stage. Oh, here we go. So the panel inside is going to be 4 inches by 5 5/8, fairly standard with this size card. Oh, crash, there goes my thing. Oh, apologies guys, a bit of a collapsing happening. Okay, and so I'm just going to glue that inside. Actually, I might stamp it. I'm going to use one of these little extra sentiments that we were given with the stamp set. So I've got thanks on the front, so I could put inside from the bottom of my heart, or just ever so much, or for everything, or you made my day, or for all your, you could put any number of things in there, but I think I might put from the bottom of my heart. I like that. I need a nice big long block. There we are. And I might use our pretty peacock ink. It's a beautiful dark colour, and I have used it. Oh, I did actually use that. That's pretty peacock, that sentiment on the outside. Apologies, I didn't bring that up before. I'm just going to pop it probably, I think, central this time. I often put my sentiments down below, but I think I'll put it in the middle. There we go, from the bottom of my heart. And we could even bring in some of these little flowers from the outside as well, just to carry the theme through. As I say, it's really new. I haven't even got it out of its packet yet. So I've got this beautiful daisy. So this is the daisy from the outside. Just pop that on a block as it is. I'll find one. There we go. There we go. There. And I suppose you could colour that in, but I think I'll just leave that black and white. Just as a little extra inside image. I think that's quite pretty. Okay, so now, if I don't have any more falling off my bench disasters, I'll add that to the inside. Bit too much glue there. And that card is done. Okay, so as mentioned, that is card number 6 of my 7-day challenge leading up to the International Day of Happiness, which, if you're watching this on the day I release it, is tomorrow. So what's going to happen tomorrow is I have my final card to release, which I will release at the normal time at 7 o'clock, and I will 7 o'clock Australian Daylight Savings Time, that is, and I will, in that same video, draw the winner of my little competition. So make sure you comment on all the videos as you see them. As I say, I may have a runner-up prize if you've commented more than once. Yes, so I am drawing a lucky commenter who will receive all 7 of the cards that I have made over the 7 days. So if you like what I'm doing and you'd like to see them and get them, then please comment. Tell me where you're from and tell me that you'd like to be in the draw. And anyway, as today, yes, as I said, killed 2 birds with 1 stone. I've used the new Ornate Garden Suite, which is available to customers from early April, and then again in the next annual catalogue. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you join me again tomorrow for my final card and for the exciting final prize draw. Okay, thanks very much, guys. Bye.